What up? What up? What's good with everybody? And as always, I'd like to welcome my real motherfuckers to the Hood on Rock. I am your host, CNCO Official. Make sure you tap in with me on all social media platforms under the moniker CNCO Official, and of course, the brand The Hood Unlocked. I am the one for those that are new that most of these shows copy and imitate. Before me, nobody's show was like this. Before me, no one was doing it like me. And now you see every old to new blogger show looks exactly like mine. And I'm going to keep saying it and I'm going to keep standing on it. Niggas lie, documents don't. Go back to when I first went live and first started doing this shit. Look at the date I went live. Look at my show from then all the way till now. You've seen it always evolve. You've seen that it always changed. And right after I started doing shit a certain way, every fuck nigga and fuck bitch copied and imitated your boy. So I know you noticed if you watch anybody else, they shit looks just like daddy. So tell them daddy sent you. Nah, but on some real shit though. Man, I don't get no props on this motherfucker, but everybody's show looks just like mine, and I stay being copied though. But that's another topic though. What's good to Miss Goldie in the motherfucking building? I see we got OG Dime Peaks in the building. I see Beauty Savage and made sure she didn't stop by again. Appreciate you showing some love. And I also see what's that? Ex-Con. Hey, that's a hell of a way to spell that. Ex-Con. I like that, my nigga. Put that on the screen. Ex-Con. I like the way he spelt that shit, my nigga. Salute. But yeah, though, today's topic is about Donald Trump, man. Hopefully this time he finally got this nigga. You know, we've been sitting back watching this nigga and claims of this nigga saying he done all kind of illegal shit throughout this whole process. From him trying to get elected to him being elected to even now, he's still breaking laws and rules, but have received no jail time. Matter of fact, let me correct myself. Even before he tried to get elected, he was already breaking the rules with Trump University. My bad. So this nigga has been doing everything from tax evasion to the nigga recently. The FBI raided his Mar-a-Lago home. We don't. I got news clippings. I'm gonna show you guys, and I have the actual documentation, the warrant for his raid, and the receipts were all they got. We're gonna tap into all that. I was gonna do the Rick Ross one, but ain't enough information about Rick Ross and his Fed issue out yet. So I'm gonna tap into that one when more information comes out. But basically, Trump ended up getting his Mar-a-Lago home residence raided, and there they found multiple boxes filled with secret, top secret documents that Trump is not supposed to remove from the premises, and he is instructed as president that it's supposed to be handled a certain way and put in a certain or given to a certain location or person to be put away for safe storage. They found multiple documents, not just documents again, y'all, but boxes full of shit that he wasn't supposed to have. And if you notice, this motherfucker ain't been listening since he became president. He's always had that fuck you attitude as president. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button for me one time if you haven't. I appreciate it. If you're new, hit that subscribe button as always. Welcome to the hood. But he's always had this I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do what I want attitude as president. I guess that shit comes from being a billionaire. So it's not shocking that he has broken all these rules as president. Now you got to ask yourself, with all the claims of all the shit he has done, the laws, you would think Trump will be pretty much in prison right now on a life sentence or maybe executed for treason. What's the slow, prolonging process about him for? I don't fucking know. Now, of course, I'm not a super politician, but I do keep my ears to the street and I do pay attention. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tap into some people that do know a little bit more about politics, listen to what they have to say, and of course you're allowed to hit that stream line. We can come on up and give your opinion as well. What's good, Tehran? What's good with you folks? I was going to say, I think they're going to put Trump in jail. That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking this time he didn't got caught. Donald definitely had that fuck you attitude. And you know what? I think that's the only thing I liked about the nigga. People who know me, God damn. People that know me personally know that I've always said Trump has had this I don't give a fuck attitude. I've said that since he's been elected. Some people may say he's had this shit his whole fucking life, being, like I said, the billionaire that he is. But at the same time, being that way and having that attitude can also cost you your freedom. There are rules for reasons, and even as president, you have to follow certain ones. So let's listen to this news report about what went on at Trump's Mar-a-Lago raid.
A dissolving mineral has just been released that can reverse 10 years of tooth decay in just a matter of weeks.
Come on, man. Always a motherfucking commercial, y'all. Shout out to the commercial gang.
The Mar-a-Lago search warrant has been unsealed. We have it, you may have heard, and most importantly, as you see here, this is something we don't usually get. We've never gotten it for a former president, and we had no idea when the week started that we'd be going through it. A documented list of the things that Donald Trump allegedly took or stole, property of the U.S. government and intelligence material. We're going to get into this right now. We start with what's in here. We don't start with the law, although it is the law that brought us this information. We start with the search warrants, property, and inventory list. So let's take a look. You're going to see at the top how this works. Search and seizure warrant. See that right there? You have that on Trump's Mar-a-Lago premises, page 1 of it. Then on page 5, and if we can, we'll bring this to you in full. Can we bring that up for everybody? Do we have that ability? I want everyone to see, yes, exactly what we have. I'm telling you, this is not the kind of thing we've ever gotten before, and I'm going to walk you through what it means right now. This is the receipt for property according to the FBI. The items listed, collected/seized in that legal process from Mar-a-Lago. And now I want to break down with you some of what we're learning. This is all brand new, so let's go through it together. About 21 boxes, 2 photo binders, 1 leather-bound box of documents, 1 handwritten note. This is all new today. This was not released until Merrick Garland went forward, as you know, and called out Donald Trump, and then it began to leak, and now it's out officially unsealed. We also know that the feds on Monday took what they describe as Roger Stone's grant of clemency and some sort of information, much of this secret, so we don't have the underlying information, but what they describe for the purposes of this seized property list as information regarding the French president. Let's keep going. The FBI confiscating classified, top secret, and SCI documents. That's the type of information that must be stored in a special facility for sensitive material, often called a SCIF. We heard about that a lot in the Mueller days. And it is legally and physically protected and walled off from other top secret clearance holders. We also now.
So right now, we already can pretty much tell Trump done fucked up. What's good to my nigga first time in the building? It's good to honestly, I like Trump. All these presidents are scandalous in their own way, for real. Yeah, man, none of them really turned out to be too good. I mean, I do like the fact that when Obama got in, he gave everybody checks. But other than that, man, they all pretty much are fucked up, selfish. You know, the way it's set up, man, a lot of presidents ain't allowed to do what they want, and I get it. But it also hurts the good presidents as well, like we saw with Obama, as the Republicans kept denying him certain bills he wanted to push through and get done.
Now know tonight new 4 entries regarding top secret documents seized from Donald Trump's home, 3 entries regarding, quote, secret documents, and 3 regarding, quote, confidential documents. Now, that list of seized material runs for about 3 pages in the search warrant. All of this being tracked. We're going to leave this on the screen for a moment while I tell you, and you can tell it's a different kind of news night because I'm just going to leave this up for you to look at. Obviously, you can't read every word. What you are looking at right now is literally the receipts. You ever hear people say, well, we got receipts? Well, that's what it's legally called, receipt for profit.
Shout out to Miss Laker over there with the Hood Unlocked membership. I appreciate you getting that and fucking with me. And she said, at least Trump's not hiding how he feels. And yeah, that's the one thing, like I said, I do like that he has that I don't give a fuck attitude. You feel me? But other than that, my nigga, he got a lot of fucked up ass bullshit ways. Oh yeah, and he freed a few niggas. I can't forget about that. But that was all for, for the sake of his political advance.
Property, but that's also in a very real way what is confronting, rebutting, and debunking not only Donald Trump, but so much of what we heard all week from some of his defenders, that this was some kind of just wild search for things that might not be there, weren't there, this and that. No, this is the fruits of the search. It's not one item. It's not 2 items. It is, according to the material on your screen, newly released and unsealed, a sweeping list of government property, national security information, and some of it top secret, which our experts will walk us through in a moment. Now, the warrant also says this was executed in the probe based on 3 federal laws. That's the legal authority. Now, nothing in the warrant confirms who is under investigation for that. And while people may draw their inferences, inferences are different than reporting. And I'm going to get into that in our breakdown tonight for you as well. So these laws could be violated. That's part of what is the basis for getting the material. But who violated it? The warrant doesn't purport to say. It has to do with improperly handling defense information. And the final one regarding obstruction. Joyce Vance will be here later on that. The warrant also tells us exactly where they were searching in those 20 acres of Mar-a-Lago, noting that there was, quote, the 45 office, that's the shorthand for the 45th president, all storage rooms, and all rooms or areas where those documents could be stored. Now, I wanted to show you, as we try to do around here, exactly what's in this thing. We live in the internet age, and so people can, of course.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone. And
we live in the internet age, and so people can, of course, download it. But we have done our reporting to walk through some of the different details on the receipt, on the property list. But if we take a step back, before we get to the law, and I mentioned we will get to that later in the program, the receipts are the evidence. The evidence is what they found. And what they found is a lot. This is allegedly stolen property and allegedly top secret. Now, in a court case or an independent reporting, you want to get more. You don't want to just take the list. You want to go in and confirm it. But the FBI and the DOJ and the magistrate judge who oversaw this were all pursuing a single goal that apparently Donald Trump and his lawyers had resisted, first under negotiations, then under subpoena. And the goal was to get this stuff back. And the reason why the release of this appears to be blowing up in Donald Trump's face, regardless of whether crimes were committed, which is a separate entity, as I mentioned, a separate inquiry that we'll get into. But even before you get to that, they have the receipts. He had the stuff on site. He was fighting the legal subpoena. It has been quite a week, one that started with a search and then had a invocation of the Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate yourself on Donald Trump's hump day. And by Friday, we know what they were searching for and what they found. Remarkable, significant. Now let's bring in our experts, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist from the Washington Post, Eugene Robinson, and David Priest, former CIA officer who publishes on Lawfare and is the author, fittingly, of the President's Book of Secrets. David, based on your knowledge, did they find a lot of material that shouldn't be there? And how big a deal is it when you look at the classification levels invoked?
They found a lot of material, Ari. I mean, we're not just talking about a document or two. And even in your summary, it's hard to say, but I think you underestimated it because each one of those entries about confidential information, secret information, top secret information, the 3 levels of classification, each one of those were characterized as miscellaneous documents. So we're talking about probably dozens, maybe hundreds of different classified documents here, and including.
Let's slow down on that for your point. We've got it up on the screen, so you'll walk us through this. It's why you are here.
So like I said earlier, they didn't find a few documents. They found boxes, hundreds potentially full of top secret documents that he wasn't supposed to have. You know, people like Trump, he the type of person, he would keep this to like later on release, maybe for money, write a couple of books on stuff, and then be able to publish pictures of the actual information, which is rarely ever done as president, you know, and then act as if, you know, it was somehow leaked or, you know how they do it when they retire from office. This would definitely be financially great for Trump if he could have kept all these things and not, you know, be suffering any kind of consequences behind this, y'all. But this nigga's foul though, my nigga. And just off this alone, fuck all the other shit they was investigating. Just off him taking these papers that they found in his home in the warrant, how's he avoiding prison time? How's he avoiding, you know, going to jail? You gotta ask yourself that. Like, just off him, just if he didn't do nothing else he ever did, just off him stealing these documents, he's supposed to be fucked. So let's pay attention in the future to see how this shit pans out.
Absolutely.
Sir, when we see on the screen an entry or more, 3 or 4 entries of those documents, explain that to us, please.
And each one of those entries on the receipt, the entry actually says miscellaneous top secret documents or miscellaneous secret documents. So we're not talking about 4 top secret documents here. We're talking about 4 different entries of miscellaneous top secret documents. Now, that doesn't tell us everything, but it does tell us something important, that this was not.
Now, we all know Trump's a liar, though, Don P. So even though he said that, is that true? Because as we see him listening to the reports, they're saying these were classified top secret documents. They're stating this still to this time. Now, what's kind of tricky about this process, Don P. Trump being president, did he declassify the shit first and then took it? Because now, as president, I believe you can do that. So if he declassified the shit first and then took it home, then he might wiggle his ass out this shit. So maybe he did. But then that means these guys didn't do their research. FBI didn't do their research because they're stating still to this day it was classified documents. So somebody lying.
One document that somehow got misplaced, and even after being reminded of it and getting a subpoena, it could not be located. We are talking about a lot of material here, including some of the most sensitive material for the national defense that the U.S. government produces. We know that just from this list here.
If you were involved in the recovery of this amount of material and you were told that somebody had been holding this for months.
All right, now, I don't know, dude, that was speaking, but if he's in fact correct, if this is some of the most top secret shit we got, it's like Trump was getting ready to write him a book. Maybe even make a documentary or a movie or something. He got the money to do it, right? I mean, majority of the time, that's what they do this for. Unless also he was going to give this shit to his boy over at Russia and let Russia blackmail him. Think about it. Russia help him win. In return, he can give Russia these top secret documents. See, you forgot, Trump is connected to a lot of people in a lot of places. And we can't forget about his Russian connect over there. Oh, Putin, oh, ho ass.
Months while there was an active subpoena out for it. what would your response be about the pace of the probe if it was just a citizen?
It blows my mind how patient investigators and law enforcement have been on this matter. Listen, there are cases where people inadvertently bring home classified material when they work in the intel community, as I did. It happens sometimes. And when that happens, you immediately give up the information. Often there's a damage assessment to figure out who could have accessed that document in that limited amount of time. We're talking about August 2022. The president has been out of office for many, many months with repeated efforts to get this information. This is one of the most serious violations I've ever heard of. Now,
really?
Do we know?
One of the most serious violations he's ever heard of from a president. Ain't no telling since he's been out of office what and if any of this shit he's gave to anybody, including Putin. See, Hood was just saying that. It could be for books, it could be for documentaries, or it could be for his boy Putin or anybody else, Kim Jong-un, or whatever the fuck his name is over there in China. Like I said, Trump a grimy ass nigga. He's two-faced like some of these billionaires is, my nigga. He can't be trusted, my nigga. And at this point, I ain't heard nobody use this word, but wouldn't this be considered treason? I'm just curious. I don't know the full extent of the political laws when it comes to these motherfuckers, but it's showing the fuck sound like some form of treason.
Know who was responsible for covering up or possibly delaying the delivery of this material? As you said, we don't know. This material does not say who is culpable here, but on its basis, on the facts in front of us, this is a very serious violation of both the Presidential Records Act, but also each of the statutes that were used to justify the search and seizure.
And how many presidents did you serve in your role dealing with intelligence?
Well, I talked to more than I served when I wrote the President's Book of Secrets about their intelligence use, and I worked under 2 different presidencies. And honestly, it didn't cross my mind back then, Ari, that this kind of thing could happen, because presidents who got elected and saw the nature of intelligence information and the risks that men and women took to get that information to try to contribute to national security decision making, they were very careful with this material. And I can't imagine a previous president being this cavalier with it or allowing his people to be this cavalier with it. It is truly unprecedented.
And in brief, before I bring in Gene, who has been listening intently to you like some presidents may have you ever seen anything like this?
No. The closest I've heard is a story from the Reagan administration, when a White House staffer who was so overworked that he didn't have time during the day to read the most sensitive intelligence, made photocopies of the president's daily brief and took them home and stored them in his garage. The National Security Advisor found out about that and put a stop to it, and no charges were filed. That's the only comparable case to this one. But in this case, it's Mar-a-Lago. It's not a National Security Council staffer down the road from the White House.
Gene, people come to you both in your writing and here when we listen to you for your vast knowledge, having covered many administrations. This is one of those weeks and one of those nights where I'm really curious what you think about the objective facts of what we're learning about this material in the context of how many people risk their lives in the service to the United States. I'm wondering if there is a way, and I know it's hard to do, but just as they compartmentalize some of this intelligence, Gene, I'm wondering if we compartmentalize away everything that people feel about Donald Trump, good, bad, or in between, and take just this information. Imagine it was President X. Where does this fit into your view of the significance of this story as someone who we rely on to understand this national news?
Unprecedented, unthought of. I mean, every president I've ever known or watched or observed or reported on, every administration has been very extremely meticulously careful with top secret information, with classified information.
Now look, OG Time Beast, the reason why I don't believe that they planted it, now you know in normal race they have their body cam on, right? And we know that sometimes they're crooked and they won't turn their shit on, or they'll act like they malfunction. But I'm willing to bet 100% on a raid as big as the former president, I'm pretty sure everything was documented from when they left the facility going to his property. So again, this is just Trump crying and upset that his ass finally got caught.
Now, administrations, governments, generally speaking, classify too many things. There's a lot of stuff that they stamp, confidential or whatever on that doesn't deserve to be. But when you get to top secret, you get to top secret / SCI, that most sensitive information, that stuff doesn't lie around in a White House. It doesn't lie around in the Oval Office. It doesn't lie around anywhere, much less in the basement of Mar-a-Lago.
If you're a California homeowner that pays more than $67,
this nigga Trump is crazy. This nigga got this type of shit just sitting in his basement. So his cleaning lady, janitor, maintenance man, anybody could have got this shit. This motherfucker's retarded. Oh, that's the end of that one. Okay, so look, I got a few more videos I'm gonna show you guys. But as of right now, y'all chime in, man. Hit that StreamYard link or let me know in the chat. I want y'all to hit that StreamYard link though. Y'all let me know, man. Just based off what we just heard in that first video, what do you think should happen to Trump, or what do you think is going to happen to Trump? Y'all tap in and let me know. I'm rolling up this blunt real fast, and then I'm gonna queue up the other video, and we're gonna continue. But as of right now, y'all let me know, man. Y'all know Hood like to interact with his viewers, his family, the Hood. So y'all tap in, come on up here. Don't be afraid. Y'all know y'all more than welcome to come up here and chill with a nigga. Eventually, though, I'm gonna make it to where only members can interact with a nigga. But right now, it's open for everybody. Hold on, y'all. Let me queue up this other video. Give me a minute. All right, here we go, y'all. I'm almost done rolling up this blunt. Let me queue up this video for y'all so we can get started. Where is it at? This nigga should be through for, in my opinion, just based off what we just heard. But Trump is always known to be able to wiggle out of shit, so you gotta keep that in mind when you watch this nigga.
The former president and that search at Mar-a-Lago. After the release of the search warrant, tonight the Department of Justice is now fighting the release of the affidavit, arguing it would compromise the criminal investigation. The DOJ revealing a grand jury is involved in this ongoing investigation that implicates national security. The DOJ also making it clear it needs to keep the affidavit private to protect the identities of witnesses who are involved. Tonight, we're also learning more about the investigation into what they found, those 11 sets of classified documents, some with the highest possible level of classification, meaning only a select few are ever supposed to handle these documents, and only in very secure locations. Tonight, federal investigators want to know, of these documents, how did they get there? Were they ever at any other locations? And who had access to them along the way? And federal investigators now looking at surveillance from inside Mar-a-Lago. Tonight, former President Trump claiming the FBI also took 3 of his passports. Tonight, the former president's explanation so far for these documents amid a growing threat to the FBI and law enforcement. Tonight, the arrest and the alleged threat made that anyone working with the FBI deserves to die. That was the quote. ABC's Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas leading us off tonight.
Tonight, the Justice Department revealing it has witnesses cooperating in the investigation into the mishandling of highly classified documents seized at Mar-a-Lago, and indicating a grand jury is involved. In a court filing, prosecutors arguing that their affidavit their roadmap to the case must remain sealed to protect those witnesses, calling it an ongoing investigation that implicates national security.
They certainly don't want to put former President Trump or anyone close to him on notice of what they are looking at.
It comes as the former president today claimed in a social media post that the FBI took his passports during that search. As for those seized classified and secret documents, investigators must now try to retrace their movements since they were allegedly taken from the White House to determine whether the country's national secrets have.
Now, Don Peace, he actually contradicted himself if what you said is true. Because now you're giving two different stories. First, you said Trump said someone had planted the stuff. Now he's saying they could have just asked for it and he would have returned it. Which one is it? Did they plant the stuff? Or could they just have asked and received the stuff? See, that's two different stories. It don't make sense. I don't know where you got your information from, but that's not making sense. How could he say both things? It can't be planted if he knew the shit was there. He could have just asked for it and got it back. You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. But at the end of the day, he ain't got no defense. The shit was not supposed to be removed from his premises. It was supposed to be given to wherever it's supposed to be given to. He didn't do it. He violated. Fuck his excuses. We don't get no excuses when we fuck up. You feel me? We don't get to go in there and say and give them excuses. They throw the book at us, so fuck it. If I had to go to jail for my shit, he got to go to jail for his. Fuck him.
Have been compromised. Investigators could check the documents for fingerprints and would likely interview Trump officials.
If there was this big pool of classified information sitting at President Trump's residence, trying to figure out who knew what, when, or had access to what, when, from a chain of custody.
Okay, and Don Peace, even if he said it, my opinion still stands, right? They can't plant it if it was already there. Either way it go, he fucked himself. So if he said it, he pretty much just gave them proof that he's lying.
Custody perspective will be really important for the investigators.
Sources say investigators are now scrubbing through security footage they subpoenaed from Mar-a-Lago, at least one camera capturing the hallway outside of Trump's storage facility. And according to sources, a Trump attorney signed a statement in
did y'all hit
June
that like button
after
for
a
your
visit from
boy
the
one time?
FBI,
Shit.
saying all
If you
classified
ain't hit the
documents
like
at
button, I know
Mar-a-Lago
I got
had
to
been
cash up a
turned over.
Venmo or
That
Chime or
is
Jill
not
or
true.
PayPal or
The
something.
FBI would seize
I
11
sure
sets
heard
of
some love,
classified
man. Turn
documents
green
during its
light.
search.
Like
Some of it
MHB
marked
bitch
top
I
secret
say,
and
green
others
light gang.
SCI, meaning it came from the most sensitive intelligence sources, often involving secrets from allies, electronic eavesdropping, informants, and other spying. The most sensitive SCI material includes nuclear secrets and information about terror.
Now, you notice how he did it, right? Now, in this video, they go into specifics of what Trump had in these documents. So I'm going to restart it. I want you guys to pay attention to specifics of what is inside these, what the FBI sees from this nigga.
It's not true. The FBI would seize 11 sets of classified documents during its search. Some of it marked top secret and others SCI, meaning it
See,
came
top
from the most
secret.
sensitive intelligence sources, often involving secrets from allies, electronic eavesdropping,
Snitches
informants, and
all
other
over the
spying.
world. He
The
had the
most sensitive
snitching all
SCI
over the world
material
file.
includes nuclear secrets and
Nuclear
information about
secrets.
terrorism operations. Material so sensitive that it has to be kept under lock anytime it's moved.
So Trump just didn't have all the snitches like in the streets. He had the snitches from other countries, spies, whatever the fuck you want to call them, nigga. Yeah, Trump was keeping that shit for a reason, nigga. He was probably gonna sell that shit to other countries on who the spy was, who the snitch is. That nigga had some shit, nigga. We would have looked up, nigga, and Trump would have been the richest motherfucker in this world, and we would have never knew why. Wow.
Fact that it is now outside or has been outside of those really controlled environments.
Wait, hold on, Miss G. You said you the only one hit that like button. Hold up. No, don't make me go check. Hold on. See, now I gotta pause the show for stupid shit. I gotta pause the show for stupid shit. I don't give a fuck if there's only two motherfuckers in here. I need that like button. Let me know. I gotta go check. Don P said she hit that motherfucker. Miss Go, did you refresh your shit? I hope you refresh your shit before you said that and then cause a nigga to pause the show. Let me see, man. Miss G, 10 watching. We got 10 like buttons. We good, y'all. Let's continue this motherfucking show. I appreciate you looking out, though, Miss G, but we good. The numbers adding up. Let's go.
Again, it's pretty disturbing and shocking to see.
As a candidate, Donald Trump vowed to safeguard classified material.
In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information.
And that's why I want you guys to come up and have a conversation with me. You know, you saying that's dirty if Trump was going to do that. The thing is, we don't know what he was going to do with it, but what we do know is he took it for a reason. He broke the law for a reason. He went against ethnic and code as president for a reason. And being who he is, it got to be about financial gain, relationships, or, you know, getting something out of it. He's not going to jeopardize all this for nothing. He's broke laws with Trump University. He's broke laws with his taxes. This man has broken every law possible, but it's funny though. Pookie, who steal an ice cream, who steal a cigarette or a candy bar at the store, go to jail for 2, 3, 4 years. The billionaires, they break the laws all day, every day, and majority of them don't even see jail time. But that's the world we live in, America.
No one will be above the law.
But Trump now
Appreciate
caught in
you,
an
love,
investigation
Tails.
involving possible violations of espionage, mishandling of documents, and obstruction of justice. Since the raid, Trump's
all good,
explanations
Miss G.
have
I know you
shifted.
just looking
His
out.
team now says he had a standing order to declassify documents the moment they were removed from the Oval Office and taken to the residence.
I think that claim is almost certainly a lie.
Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, says he'd never heard of such a policy.
It would have to be documented what they were, each document, so that people would know what had been declassified. And I know of no logistical train, no paper train at all that says what's declassified and what's not. When somebody's making up stories like that, I think it indicates a level of desperation.
Tonight, the Republican and Democratic leaders of the Senate
Damn,
Intelligence
he's
Committee
body
are asking to
Trump.
get secure access to the seized documents, along with an assessment of potential risks to national security as a result of their mishandling. These kinds of documents are precisely what U.S. adversaries try to steal, and security gaps at Mar-a-Lago have long been a concern. In 2019, a Chinese national was arrested and convicted of lying to Secret Service agents after entering a restricted area. Authorities later finding 9 thumb drives and a device to detect hidden cameras in her hotel room.
And so let's get right to Pierre Thomas with us live tonight. Pierre, you have reported here that the Justice Department wants to keep that affidavit sealed. And we have reported all along here that the affidavit would reveal a lot more than the search warrant already revealed last week. I know the Department of Justice argues it would compromise the criminal investigation here. Remind our audience the kinds of things that would be in an affidavit that we did not see in the search warrant.
David, that affidavit is a roadmap. There may be more details about possible crimes, including obstruction of justice and espionage. And there may be details about the witnesses and where the investigation is going that they want to keep secret. David?
Pierre Thomas with us off the top tonight. Pierre, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking.
So as you guys can see, man, Trump, from what it sounds like, has pretty much fucked himself up. But again, will he go to jail for any of this shit? That's the real fucking question, though. Like, because they look, before any of this happened, man, y'all all heard of all the claims of all the things they say he did, was found guilty of, blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, this nigga still ain't been to jail. This nigga still out. This nigga still enjoying life, nigga. Ain't nothing happening, my nigga. Like at the end of the day, so. I don't know, like shit is sideways. Like shit, we get the book thrown at us, and these motherfuckers just go home to their mansions. Got 2 more videos I want to show you guys before we get the fuck up out of here in the show, y'all. Since y'all not coming up giving no interaction today, there's no point for me to step on this motherfucker. I don't think I got no donations either, so let me just go ahead and finish up this video, y'all. It shouldn't be hard to lock up a billionaire if motherfucker committing crimes. Shit. They lock us up for every motherfucking thing we do. I'm tired of that one-sided shit, nigga. If they can go, we should be able to go. Shit.
A lot has happened since we got off the air Friday. So since we finished our coverage on Friday morning, we learned that the search warrant for Mar-a-Lago revealed former President Donald Trump is being investigated for possible violations of the Espionage Act tied to the mishandling of national defense information or classified material. Now, according to the FBI, 11 sets of classified records were seized from Trump's home, including some marked as top secret, meant only to be available in special government facilities. 2 other laws were also cited as a basis for the warrant pertaining to removing, destroying, or concealing records and obstruction of justice. According to the search warrant for Mar-a-Lago, agents were allowed to search Trump's office, all storage rooms, and all other rooms available to Trump, his staff, or anywhere documents could be stored. Meanwhile, former President Trump is offering a new line of defense for taking top secret government documents to his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida. A club.
But by the way, it's about his 12th excuse.
There've been they
they
quite
keep coming up with excuses. I mean, somebody put it very, very succinctly. I didn't take the documents.
Yeah.
But if I did take the documents, they weren't classified. And if they were classified, then they were planted. And if
that's exactly what I just said.
I declassified them. And if I didn't, then it's a hoax. And if it's not a hoax, Obama did it. He keeps changing. He keeps going through the lies. You know, first he said that he was working and cooperating with government agents.
Appreciate you, Don. Peace. Enjoy your day,
when we
baby
found
girl.
out the truth about that, he said the agents planted it. Finally, he started lying, and you're going to talk about this in a second, saying that he had declassified them. And then Sunday, on the Sunday shows, after all of these different stories didn't line up, after all of the lies that he had thrown out there and all of the you-know-what thrown against the wall didn't line up, then he had former aides go on TV and start a new round of lies. Once again, well, he was in a rush. He was just, he was packing. He didn't know whether he was going to leave or not. And then when he found out he was going to leave the White House, I'm not sure why he didn't know that he was leaving the White House. He lost by millions and millions of votes and lost by what he called his own victory, lost by the same number, which he said was one of the greatest landslides in American history in the electoral college count, if you take him at his own words. But he was in such a rush that he just accidentally took some of the boxes. Then another former Trumper, well, still a Trumper, but a former advisor, said it was the GSA's fault. GSA said, no, actually, the responsibility for making decisions about what materials are moved rests entirely with outgoing president and their supporting staff. Any questions about the contents of any items that were delivered, e.g. documents, are the responsibility of the former president and his supporting staff and should be directed to their office. And as John Bolton said, and we're going to be playing this clip later too, Mika, John Bolton, National Security Advisor, said, I didn't know anything about this. And he's just making stuff up.
Making shit up.
Said when somebody begins to concoct lies like this, it shows a real level of desperation.
Well,
so we all know he's lying. I mean, there's been, I guess if he counted, 7, 8, 9, 10 different lies.
I sound like that nigga Trump is off that Pookie Brisby.
We know he's lying. The disturbing thing is his supporters know he's lying. and they're still his supporters.
I think a lot of people who support Donald Trump, if they heard that, would say, oh, but you're saying he's lying. This is more of, the way people respond to our guy. The thing is that his explanations defy the way things are done when you're dealing with classified documents, and therefore you can deduce that they are a lie.
Well, and
there are no such
also,
things as standing orders that you make up out of thin air.
Also, if he says I didn't take documents, you find the documents. You can write that down as a lie.
Right.
If you're saying you're cooperating with the FBI and you lie to the FBI and the Justice Department by saying you've returned all the classified documents, you can mark that down as a lie because they didn't return all the classified documents. If you then say, as he said, that you were, quote, raided, and then we find out that not only was he not raided, and not only was this not a shock, but actually it wasn't a raid, no doors were knocked down, and Donald Trump and his wife were watching on cameras. I guess the reporting shows and by the way, all of this is on cameras, including what they've done with the documents over the past several months. So whoever did anything legally or possibly illegally with those documents, it's all on camera. We'll see if they burn the tapes.
Yeah, that'll be
or they throw out the DVR. But so you can say that's a lie. And if you say they were planted, we can now go check. That's a lie. Like his own supporters can just see what's happened over the past week to see that all of these things were a lie. And then we go into the declassification and the hoax. I mean, it was, again, he keeps lying. The first thing he says is always a lie. The second, third, fourth, always a lie as well until he's finally cornered. But again, first he said he was working and cooperating with government agents. He wasn't. He lied to them. And then now, Mika, we come back to that there's a standing order here. I mean, it's just, again, this is not a matter of opinion, Mika.
No, I know.
On whether he's lying or not. I know you're trying to be understanding of those who would still want so desperately believe all of these lies.
Oh my God.
But they're lies.
If you're a California homeowner that pays more than $67 a month for electricity, you may qualify.
A statement released by Trump's office Friday night contends everyone takes work home sometimes.
They actually don't in this field, and
I'm
if they
trying
do,
not
they
to
get
laugh
arrested.
at that, because there was some might argue.
So why Trump
not a
can get
lot of work
arrested
being
there?
done in
He
the White House,
clearly
a lot
did
of
it.
executive times. I'm not sure why he would bring stuff to his golf course. The statement reads,
Exactly,
in
Ms.
part,
G. I'm on that
President
same
Trump, in
shit.
order to prepare for work the next day, often took documents, including classified documents from the Oval Office to the residence.
Wait, but I don't understand. If you're not working during the day, why would you work at night? If you're watching cable news all day, why would you? Like, nobody believes that either.
This statement goes on to say that he had a standing order that documents removed from the Oval Office and taken into the residence were deemed to be declassified the moment he removed them.
That's a lie, too.
Trump's former national security advisor, as you said, Joe, John Bolton, says he never heard of such an order. During an interview with NBC News over the weekend, Bolton offered this challenge to the latest line from the former president's office.
When I became national security advisor, nobody briefed me or informed me that this policy or order was in effect. I was never aware of anything even remotely approximating that policy, and I haven't heard anything of it since I left. If he, in fact, said something like that, when was it memorialized? When did the White House counsel write it down? To whom was it distributed? But if he did take materials out of a safe space to the residents, it would have to be documented what they were, each document, so that people would know what had been declassified. And I know of no logistical train, no paper train at all that says what's declassified and what's not. When a document is declassified, it's not just declassified as to Donald Trump, it's declassified for the whole world. So in theory, if that order existed, which I don't think it did, the news media could today file a Freedom of Information Act request for every document he declassified, which over a 4-year period could be a pretty high stack. So I think this is made up, and I think a key point here is when somebody's making up stories like that, I think it indicates a level of desperation.
So Meek, he's never heard of any order. If there were such a standing order, it would change how the documents were held. Anything that he declassified,
Trump took
reporters could get
information on every snitch in
because
the
it's
world
been
that the U.S. knew
declassified.
about.
And the
From
person,
6ix9ine
for
to
those of
Spies
you that don't follow the
to
news closely,
MHB
the
Pookie.
person that was
He
talking
even had
there
that nigga
was
Pookie
not the
list.
head of Parks and
His file.
Recreation for Donald
You know
Trump.
he be
He
telling
was
like
a
a
national
motherfucker.
security advisor. If anything like this had existed, he would have known about it because he would have been working with other people to take classified documents and declassify them.
As Joe said, it's also being reported that at least one lawyer for the former president signed a written statement back in June that said all of the material marked classified and held in boxes in a storage area at Mar-a-Lago had been returned to the government.
And that lawyer signed that document for
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
We know that the FBI agents seized 11 sets of documents with some type of confidential or secret marking on them during the search on Monday. While the former president said on Friday he had already declassified the material found in his possession, there is no documentation of that. And further reporting by the New York Times goes on to say, quote, the Justice Department also subpoenaed surveillance
Pretty
footage
casual
from
like he
Mar-a-Lago,
disqualified
recorded over a
himself.
60-day period.
He shouldn't have took the shit home. Period.
Outside the storage room. According to a person briefed on the matter, the footage showed that after one instance in which the Justice Department officials were in contact with Mr. Trump's team, boxes were moved in and out of the room.
You see, that's the thing about the Justice Department and about the FBI. If they're coming to search for things at your house,
they're going to keep coming.
They actually already know they're there.
And they're going to keep asking. They're going to watch you.
And by the way, if they ask you for your security footage, and there's a strong likelihood that there's somebody on the inside working with the FBI, they already know there's security footage of people moving classified documents out of safe areas inside of Mar-a-Lago, safe for Donald Trump to hide them from everybody else, after the DOJ reaches out and asks for classified documentation. Sort of like a Perry Mason thing, isn't it, Mika?
Yeah.
You know what's funny though, y'all? I remember when Trump first got elected, he was yelling, check Hillary emails, her server, blah, blah, blah. And this nigga turns around and did the same thing he accused her of, which was hide shit and keep shit that he wanted for himself. This nigga's retarded.
Important for one special viewer of Morning Joe to perhaps think about. But let's bring in the host of.
Well, it's also important for other people, Mika, to know. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
You all already know what I'm about to say here. You know, it's. I think there are a lot of people with PTSD, whether they're Democrats, independents, or Republicans, who've seen in the past that it seems Donald Trump is above the law. Mm-hmm. It's just important to remember that what we've been looking at in the past has been Donald Trump in political settings. Even the Mueller investigation was an investigation that, for the most part, was in a political setting. And he had said that he wasn't going to bring charges against the president. This is not in a political setting. And I will say, when I first ran for office, my first couple of months on the campaign trail, I was a bit surprised.
Pretty cash. The only reason why I don't believe Obama did what Trump did, because the Republican Party hates Obama. If Obama did this the same way Trump is going through this, Obama would have been going through this, baby girl. So come on with the cap.
That people could just say anything and get away with it, because my mind had been shaped in the law, and there were rules of evidence in the law. There were rules of civil procedure. There were rules that you had to go by, or else the judge become quite unhappy with you. So everybody would go by those rules or pay the consequences. We're now in a legal environment, all right? The ring that we're in now is not the political ring where anything goes, any lies stand. All you have to do is convince the dumbest people watching you that you were cooperating with the FBI, or that this was a hoax, right? Or that the election was stolen. This is in court. And because it's in court, it's the same reason Rudy Giuliani could lie at press conferences outside of courts, but then go inside of courts and say, oh, no, Your Honor, we're not alleging widespread voter fraud here, because there are actually rules inside the courtroom. This is Donald Trump's problem. And for people thinking this is going to be just like everything else, it's not. We're going to find out. Either Donald Trump is going to be charged with a crime, or he's not going to be charged with a crime. And we will know that there will be a thorough investigation, and it will be based on the law. And that's something that I think people that are so worried that Trump is going to get away with something or get caught, I think.
Ms. J, the problem that we have with comparing Hillary to Trump is they never found Hillary's shit. Trump was stupid, got caught with his shit. You feel me? These so-called emails or whatever the fuck they said Hillary had, she was never caught with it. She was never, there was nothing linking her to this shit. So that's just a what we call a ghost story. Trump had this shit in his house. Ain't no getting around that.
I think they can rest assured that Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice, they're going to follow the law. And I know people are complaining, oh, this is helping Donald Trump. I think Bill Maher had said something like, oh, this is reviving Donald Trump. So if it revives his political career, it revives his political career. You follow the law where it leads you. You administer justice to all, regardless of the outcome, regardless of their standing. And that's where we are right now.
I don't think you can call the Attorney General and try and turn the heat down. I think when the Justice Department, the FBI are working on something, they're not looking at anything else, and they're not listening to anybody in terms of their advice as to how to handle. Like I said,
also turning the heat down, you then release the name of the agents.
Oh, come on! Oh my gosh!
Who are facing unprecedented levels of death threats, you release a document so you can get the names.
My memory serves me. I don't recall her ever admitting to anything. I do remember her saying that she had emails, and I think she did admit that she did use her personal email for certain things, but it was nothing pertaining to top secret information or something to the fact of that.
One week after the FBI,
there are a lot of things uglier than that. That's the only transition I had, though. I hope it's
descended on the home of former President Trump in a planned search.
What are you talking about, Ms. Brody? Obama was just somewhere talking about something. I just saw a clip of him somewhere recently, maybe 2-3 days ago. He had a mic in his hand. He was talking somewhere. But I'm out there getting that money, Ms. G. Can't start sounding like Pookie now, just making up shit because you don't like somebody.
Friday, warning of the increase in violent rhetoric. The 5-page document reportedly advises officials to remain cautious and vigilant in the face of threats largely being made on the internet. Last week, an alleged Trump supporter was killed in a confrontation with police after firing a nail gun into the FBI's field office in Cincinnati. He was also reportedly armed with an assault rifle. And on Saturday, armed supporters of the former president gathered near the FBI's office in Phoenix, Arizona, to protest the search of Trump's home. Meanwhile, a far-right media outlet is facing criticism after publishing the names of the FBI agents who searched Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The website Breitbart published a leaked version of the FBI's search warrant.
You see how grimy them Trumpers is and the Republicans, they some cold niggas. They posted the name of every agent that raided that nigga crib online. So now the Klanmen and the racist motherfuckers and the Trumpers They about to harass these motherfuckers.
Warrant on Friday. That version included the names of the special agent and supervisor who participated in it just hours before.
And by the way, let me just say, they knew, Mika, exactly what they were doing. There was so much online chatter. And we hear from Ben Collins where people were desperate to get the names of these agents so they could kill them. The threats all over the internet saying that they were desperately searching for the agents' names that had been redacted because they wanted to find them so they could hunt them down and kill them. Under that environment, Breitbart decided to go ahead and let those people see their names.
The Justice Department had released, as you said, Joe, a redacted version. The move is now prompting criticism that Breitbart essentially put a target on the agents' backs.
Yeah, they did, but they did it on purpose.
They're not the only ones. Trump or someone on his team is believed to have leaked the unredacted version. The former president was the only one in possession of those documents ahead of the official DOJ release, and his Truth Social platform sent out a notification to followers that included a link to the Breitbart article.
So, Jonathan Lemire, so not only did the president release the names, they sent a notification out on his social media platform for everybody to look at it. I mean, everybody had already known what was contained in it other than the FBI agents' names who were receiving death threats. I mean, you look at this and look at the recklessness of this. Look at the recklessness of media outlets.
Again, I gotta give the Trumpers they shit, my nigga. The Trumpers are so bold, my nigga. They so pissed off. They threatening the FBI. I don't think you motherfuckers hear me. These motherfuckers ain't threatening no rent-a-cop, no security guard, no regular police dispatch unit, no gang unit, no detectives. These niggas is threatening the FBI. Mister, I'ma find your ass and arrest you. They threatening these motherfuckers, y'all. God damn. For Trump, the love for this nigga is that motherfucking serious. You niggas threatening them alphabet boys? Man, come on. That shit crazy.
Regarding the Florida federal judge already receiving death threats, and they're trying, they're superimposing Jeffrey Epstein's face, his face on Jeffrey Epstein's body. It's again, there are a lot of people out there that want to see this federal judge killed. There are a lot of people out there that want to see these FBI agents killed. At least it certainly looks that way.
Yeah, and a huge rise of threats against law enforcement, the FBI in particular in recent weeks. The incident at the office in Cincinnati just a few days ago underscoring that danger. And you're right, whether it was Trump personally or someone very close to him, they're the ones who had a copy of that document. They're the ones who put it out to a friendly right-wing media source and, of course, then promoted it on Truth Social. So Trump's fingerprints all over this, and it does. It has put a target on the backs of two officers who were simply doing their jobs. And again, for a party that has, the Republican Party, has long tried to tout its support of law enforcement, boy, this sure is not doing that. Let's remember, of course, this comes on a year and a half after January 6th, where Capitol Police officers were attacked and badly beaten by Trump supporters who were there.
Ms. Laker, since you got a membership, you got your gun too. Welcome to the Solar family. And you now have a moderator rant, so
very close to him,
use that motherfucker wisely.
Their names. We have Republican lawmakers calling for the FBI to be defunded and that federal law enforcement should be disbanded. It is yet again more hypocrisy from a Republican Party that has long strayed under the leadership of Donald Trump from being supportive of law enforcement, and two lives are in danger.
Yeah, I mean, lives are in danger. And again, they hate law enforcement, and law enforcement doesn't do their political bidding. They're fascists. These people who hate law enforcement, when they actually try to do their jobs, they're fascists because they want to be able to use political violence against them, against anybody that doesn't further their political agenda. You look at January the 6th. Do they support law enforcement? No. They didn't support law enforcement because they wanted to overturn a peaceful democratic election. And so they beat the hell out of law enforcement officers with flags, bludgeoned their heads, jammed them indoors. Officers died after January the 6th, their families say, because of the January 6th rioters. And now you look at this, Mika.
Yeah.
They hate the FBI again. Republicans have hated the FBI, the premier law enforcement agency in America. They hated it from the start because they tried to blame all of Donald Trump's bizarre activities on the FBI. And now they hate him here.
Yeah.
I mean, and so they're back to hating the FBI again because the FBI is trying to protect Americans by keeping classified documents classified and keeping top secret documents where they're supposed to be for the protection of America and their allies. But they're siding again. They're siding with this guy who's been behaving like a fascist.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they could just go on and bash him, y'all. So look, before we get out of here, though, I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to check out the actual, I don't know if this is the receipt or the actual warrant, but we'll give you a chance to tap in and check it out to see for yourself. I'm going to put it on the screen for those that is interested. Again, I appreciate everybody that tapped in today, as always, showing your support and love. Here we go, y'all. This is it. Let me get this. Let me clean up the screen for you guys. For those that are really interested and want to see this shit. If you'd like to donate, support the channels at the bottom of the screen. Also, become so hood and get greenlit. Grab a membership when you get a chance. Y'all know hood appreciate it. Let me see. All right, let's go ahead now. It's only 7 pages, y'all, so it's not going to be that long. Now we're coming across the receipts of what the FBI, aka Alphabet Boys, found in his home. Now the news report was more detailed because they're privy to more information than us. But look at all the boxes, not documents, just boxes. And he took specific ones. All these boxes were numbered. And if you notice, at some point, you see it start skipping not just one, but maybe 2 or 3 numbers. So these boxes was chosen specifically for a reason. So pay attention. So like, for example, Trump took box 28, 30, 32, 35, 23, 22, 24, 34, 39, 40, 41, 42. Then it jumps all the way up to 71, 73. You see, he picked out specific boxes for whatever and unknown reasons. He knew what the fuck he was doing, y'all. So again, I'd like to thank everybody that tapped in with me, y'all. You know, the hood just don't want to just talk that drama. I got to come back and start bringing y'all that good content. Next, I'm going to try to bring up Rick Ross and his situation over there. I heard his Wingstop may even be in jeopardy too. But I'm waiting for more information to come out before I do it. And I'm going to be bringing you that old raw content that I used to bring you guys all the time. And at the same time, I'm gonna be still screaming, fuck these niggas when I need to and when I have to. But I'd like to thank everybody that tapped in with me. Love Tales, Miss Goldie, First Fam, Pretty Cash TV. I know it's more. OG Dime Piece, Beauty Savage. Man, just everybody that just tapped in with me, man. I appreciate and love each and every one of y'all. Without you, there's no me. You give me the bag, I give you the bag. And how you do that? By subscribing, liking, and sharing my content. And when YouTube pay me, I can give to y'all. I am Sancio Official, and as always, I'd like to welcome them real motherfuckers to the hood on lock. I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.
What's up? I'm Rocco the Singer, and I'd like to welcome you to the Hood on Lock.
Wow! I'm watching this live.